What's up guys, Justin here for S&S Archery. In today's gear video, we're going to be looking at a new mounting system that Spot Hogg is using on all of their sights moving forward. I previously did a video on the quick disconnect assembly, which is their new mounting system. So if you recently went out, purchased say a single and double pin housing, you're not going to see the rod mount anymore. Things have changed, so in this video we're going to show you what's new, get right to the point and help you guys out in mounting your housing to the body of the sight. All right guys, if you recently purchased a Spot Hogg sight in a single and double pin housing, whether that's the Fast Eddie, the Fast Eddie XL, Tommy Hogg, or the Hogfather, you're going to see some changes. So no longer do we have the rod style mount. Spot Hogg came out not too long ago with the quick disconnect assembly. Now this takes the place of that rod. It also is going to mount your multi-pin housings. So you're basically being able to mount the single and double pin housing and the multi-pin housing within the same bracket system. So the first thing we're going to do, open up the packaging, lay everything out so we can get an idea of what we have. So taking a look, we have our housing, body of our sight, and then all the hardware needed. So we're just going to open all this up. The first thing you need to do is just kind of look over all the items in your package. So I have the body of the sight. It also is containing the third axis block. So this is going to come already installed on your actual body of the sight. You have your scope housing. You have the single and double pin mount with the bigger screw provided. And then you also have the 6-hole spacer and 2 screws. So the first step of the install part, basically I'm going to take this 1 Allen that's up front. I'm going to take it all the way out. Now just a side note, this part right here is where basically our adjustment for our third axis comes in. So by unloosening and tightening these bolts, this creates pitch in the front of the scope housing. And you're going to see here on the third axis block I have 2 pins. Now these can't be removed, they just set the 6-hole spacer. This is your 6-hole spacer. You're just going to grab it and you're just going to set it onto those pins. You just kind of wiggle it back and forth and drop it into position. Now if I find myself really struggling with left adjustment, right adjustment, this is where basically I'm flipping this spacer, pulling it out, and pushing it back down, making some small adjustments on the spacer itself. So this is going to save our micro adjustment here on the body of our sight. Because Spot Hogg has a very limited travel with our micro adjustment, it's really nice to be able to make the big adjustments with the 6-hole spacer instead. First thing you're going to do, take that same screw that you took out and then put it right back in to the top of that 6-hole spacer. We're just going to tighten it up. And that part is done and set up. Now I'm moving on to the housing. You can see here there is no rod anymore. So what I'm going to be using is the single and double pin mount. You are going to use the bigger screw provided. But basically I'm just going to find the hole where that rod normally went into. And this is basically shaped to conform right to the bevels on this scope housing. So you'll know if you have it in the right position. Now what I want is this L-shaped bracket to head back towards the sight rings. So you can see there, that L shape is heading up towards the rings. Next thing, you're going to grab your big Allen, drop it in place, and then snug this one up pretty tight. So as you can see there, the scope housing has that single and double pin mount mounted up. It's ready to go. It's ready to mount on the body of the sight. So you're going to use your last 2 remaining screws. Come in from the back side of the flange. So as you can see there, I have the single and double pin housing mounted up on this Fast Eddie XL. Very easy process to set this up. You know, if you want to make those adjustments for your windage, your left and right, very easy. Here on the top, you're just going to unloosen that 1 Allen that holds that 6-hole spacer in place. And then you're able to just pop the sight, move it over a notch. You have a lot of adjustment. You can even flip this 6-hole spacer over to gain even more right adjustment. What's really nice about this new mounting system is if I wanted to switch housing, I don't need any additional parts. Basically where that 6-hole spacer, that flange, that vertical flange, your housings in the multi-pin or that triple stack are going to mount directly to that. So It's really nice to be able to go back and forth, whether you want to run that single and double pin or the multi-pin housings. If you guys have questions about this video or anything that we sell in the store, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email. We'd be glad to help. And if you guys have found this video to be useful in any way, please hit subscribe to follow us along on more gear, hunting, and review videos. Thanks, guys.